Okay, welcome once again back to another Tactic from the Champions Blueprint. This is urgent, I should say. I only have a couple of minutes here. I just jumped on the bus to do something. I found out that two riders had just crashed a couple of minutes ago, and now I understand that a couple of other riders have just crashed and they are really beat up. So now I got four guys that I got to deal with in addition to the guys that have crashed over the last couple of days. So right now the big story at the tour is crashes, crashes, and more crashes, and that's always the problem in this first week, as we alluded to in one of our very first tactics. So I want to talk to you right now very briefly about today's tactic that I'm just going to basically make up here, because this has everything to do with becoming an uncensored possibility thinker. And right now you've got to be able to think big. I mean, I have to think very big like right now. I cannot limit myself with what I already know. I have to learn, I have to ferret out new ways of doing things given my toolkit and giving the set of circumstances. And I've been here before and I know exactly what to do because I practice the skill behind the scenes. And becoming an uncensored possibility thinker is not something that comes easily to most. It's a skill that we have to learn, and this is the way that I have personally done it. Every day I take a couple of minutes and I take an idea and I build the idea as big as possible. And it's not about the idea itself, it's about learning to expand and penetrate the glass ceiling so that I can learn to become a big, expansive thinker and also give myself permission to be able to think as big as possible, because again, that doesn't come naturally. We are basically born and we are hardwired to compare ourselves against everybody else and have a little bit more confidence in our ability not to grow things big, but yet keep things as they are. Most of us are actually everybody's hardwired to seek safety rather than expand ideas and self-touch time as we develop the skill to be able to transcend that. So right now I am working this 2-minute drill, should I say, that I work every day. And the drill at home on the off days from these crises goes like this, is that for 2 minutes I'll take an idea and I'll build it as big as I can build it, and when I think that I've built it as big as I can build it, then I build it even bigger so that I learn to penetrate those ceilings. And then at a certain point, maybe it takes 2 or 3 minutes to get there, then my brain kind of softens up where I can't think any bigger any longer. I'm basically done, and at that point the exercise is over. And that's what keeps this vital skill at my disposal, because it becomes one of my life reflexes that I naturally respond to life with. So right now, to be able to think this big, I have to think, okay, what are the injuries? I'm not sure exactly what that is yet because we haven't gotten word as to the extent of what those injuries are, but yet now I've already in my own mind collated what the devices are and what the tactics that I have and the techniques that I have with me to be able to address whatever it is. I've already got my kinesio tape out, I've got my hands all ready to adjust, I've got my laser ready to laze, I've got some other little tricks up my sleeve here to be able to work with, and I've already gone through my mind what it is that I'm going to use as my basic framework. And then once I hear about what the subtleties are, then I'll custom make each of the programs for the individual riders once they get on the bus. And I'm going to have to probably work on, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 riders simultaneously here, and that's okay because I brought enough things to be able to deal with that. And part of what this thinking big process is to also know exactly what the broadest definition of what I'm going to have to deal with is in advance, so that I'm prepared for it when it shows up, and I'm absolutely 100% prepared for that, so I'm ready to go. And I must tell you that if I did not practice this becoming an uncensored possibility thinker discipline regularly, it would not be the fabric of my normal response to life. We have to learn that skill in advance so that when things show up, we can respond with lightning speed. So the riders are going to be here in just a couple of minutes. I got to get back to be on standby here. Everything's already out, ready to go. We'll triage, we'll figure out what that is. But I would like you to really work this uncensored possibility thinking exercise. Again, in summary, it's giving yourself permission quietly in the privacy of your own experience and your own personal sanctuary to learn to think big. You take an idea, whatever it is, you decide. For me, it's this crisis that I'm facing right now. I got to deal with it. I got to think really big on this one, but I'm prepared for it because that's what I'm used to doing. And then you take an idea. Maybe it's expanding your practice, doubling your practice. Maybe it's building a green, non-toxic home. I mean, who knows? It doesn't matter. But you take that, then you start to add, like, let's say, a room onto the home. And then once it's the room onto the home, then maybe it's an external outside feature. Maybe, like, let's say it's a solar panel deck. Let's say it's then maybe an extension on the garden. Maybe it's a refinement of the jacuzzi. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter. What really matters here is that you take the idea and you start to build it. And you want to get to a point where you're a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of expansive thinking, because that's your limit. And then you want to take that limit and you want to make your idea bigger and give yourself permission to make it bigger so that you start to own this skill. And it's all about learning to confront that barrier and then pushing through it by taking the idea to a higher level. You practice this each and every day for a couple of minutes, and don't think that you're going to feel like doing it later if you don't practice it when the time is there to be able to practice it, because then it's going to be another one of those things that you started out and then nothing ever happened. And this skill is way too vital because it's the ultimate forerunner for everything that has to happen, because when we can see a possibility, because we allow ourselves to be able to see it and embrace it and believe that we can get there, we may not have the skills, but at least we know that we can get there, then we develop the skills, and that's how we become a leader in our own lives, and that's how we also share with others what it takes to be able to get to the top and stay there over the long term. So this is Dr. Jeff Spencer, again saying thanks for joining this tactic. Please check back regularly. And until then, ride big and also ride strong. And please, I got to ride big and I got to ride really strong right now. So I'll get back to you later. Got to go.